Working together to make Leon County safer. All in. All in. Woo!
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Leon County Sheriff's Office podcast. I'm your host, Javonni Hampton, the Public Information Officer with Leon County Sheriff's Office, and we're just so happy to be back today. We have an exciting guest. Some of you may be familiar with who she is, a native to Tallahassee, and her name is Brittany Christie. So welcome, Brittany.
Thank you.
Brittany is our community and media relations manager. She wears a lot of hats in this position. If you've attended any of our community events, crime prevention programs, or neighborhood outreach initiative, chances are Brittany and her team has had a hand in making it happen. And so today we're getting to know the woman behind the work, and we're going to dive just a little bit into who she is and what led her to the Leon County Sheriff's Office. So I'm excited. Brittany, are you?
I'm very, very excited. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure all the guests are excited to have you on this show. And I feel like everyone around the sheriff's office knows you as being an excellent resource when it comes to our community initiatives from the very first day that you started, which was a couple of months after me. But our listeners, they may not know. So let's start there. Talk a little bit about who you are and where were you before coming over to the sheriff's office?
Yeah, before I began here at the sheriff's office, I was at the Salvation Army. I served as the community relations and volunteer coordinator, and also worked with our advisory board there as well. So that was a great position for me. I believe that it allowed me to definitely grow in this profession and helped me to get here to the sheriff's office. But it was a lot of fun. My primary goal there was to make sure that the community knew more about the Salvation Army beyond Christmas. You know, you always see Angel Tree and, Red Kettle, but there's so many, more facets to the Salvation Army beyond that. So, that was my primary goal there, to do some fundraising as well. And so, but very rewarding role that I had there. Really enjoyed it.
That's really good. So did you always have a love for what you're doing now?
Absolutely. Yep. So I've always known that I wanted to work in community relations. And I, definitely started in my formative years. I have to credit my mom for introducing my brother and I just to service, to give back, to help those in need. We began volunteering at the shelter, which is now the Kearney Center, probably when I was about 12 years old. So that's fifth grade. I can also remember just kind of, the impact that, helping others has. And I remember there was a member from our church. She had unfortunately had to go to a retirement home. And she suffered from a stroke. So she could no longer speak. But my mom and we would visit her occasionally. My mom would braid her hair and I would polish her nails. And, although she couldn't, verbalize her appreciation, you could definitely see it in her eyes and in her expression. And so I would say at that age, I was probably, 6 or 7, you just kind of recognize, how happy you can make someone just by spending some time with them. And so, that's always stuck with me. And I've always known, kind of what path I wanted to take.
I love that.
Yeah.
A lot of times people always just see the work that comes, what's visible, but they don't necessarily even know the person or the story behind it. And so that is very interesting. For those who may not know what your position at the Leon County Sheriff's Office entails, talk about that.
Yeah. So, of course, I serve as our community relations manager, and, it's pretty much, my job to make sure that, I, bridge the gap with law enforcement and community. So whether that's events, initiatives, as you mentioned earlier, crime prevention, presentations, our neighborhood crime watch program, our Citizens Academy, our foundation, it's pretty much, my job to connect with and serve as the liaison to certain groups. And of course, make sure that we connect with our community overall to make sure that they're informed.
Do you have a favorite event or Favorite programs?
Well, being a former athlete and former hooper, I'm probably going to say the Capital County Community Classic is going to be number one. And then, of course, a close second is Patrol Stroll. But I mean, the really cool thing is just to, go back to TSC, and just being able to host that event. So, of course, since I, played there for my 2 years in college, it's cool to do that event and host it at TCC.
That one turned out really well.
Went very well. It went very well. We had a really good group helping. Our committee was phenomenal. They did a really great job, but great event. Yeah, checked off a lot of boxes. The kids had a great time, really competitive. So really good event.
Well, I'll say that one thing that I've always admired about people who are creating events or activities for the community is centered around serving people, centered around helping and improving the lives of others, putting smiles on people's faces, keeping them informed with the community, and just making sure overall, like, all groups of people, especially like those most vulnerable, are not left out.
Right.
Something that people may be curious about: having the chance, leaving the Salvation Army, and then coming over to a law enforcement side of things where you're still kind of, well, not kind of, but absolutely now directly working with youth, families, and senior citizens. How do you stay connected to say, well, this the title may be community relations, but it's still a self-serving position to also be in?
Yeah, I mean, well, I honestly, believe that working in community relations and just having, a social impact focus, it's not really a career of what you do. It should more so be about who you are. And I think that that's really why it isn't, necessarily a stretch. And how you just mentioned, being at the Salvation Army, where, our target audience are, of course, maybe different in some capacity. It honestly just depends. It really doesn't matter. The goal is still the same. One of the really cool things is that I was able to do here is that I'm able to bridge my criminology degree with what we do here as far as community relations. So just, knowing how to, like, as you mentioned, to find those vulnerable, populations in our target group to make sure that we, impact change and impact. It's just really has been cool to just bridge those two. But, I definitely believe this is a job of it's not about what you do, it's about who you are. And I think that makes it very rewarding.
That's awesome. Now, outside of work, well, actually, before we get into the summer, because we do want to inform our guests just about some of the things that have been happening in the summer. But so born and raised in Tallahassee, and then high school. What high school did you go to? Middle school?
Always Florida High. Yeah, pretty much K to 12. Yeah.
Okay, so nice. Shout out to all the Florida High
Go
folks.
Noles.
Yeah. I've had a couple of different schools in here, and they're like, that's the best school. And I went to Leon, and I went to Gabby and Rickers.
Well, you see, those things, those aren't true, and we all have our own perceptions. There is no better school. In Tallahassee. Than Florida High.
Have you ever wanted to leave Tallahassee?
Yeah, I initially thought about it. Around the time that I was thinking about it was when my grandmother got sick. And unfortunately at that time she needed around the clock care. And I was a part of her caretaking team. So that pretty much put that idea away at that time. So I just needed really to commit here and be with her. And so around that time, literally, it's when I thought about it. She got sick. And then I was like, nope, can't leave. Let me devote my time to be of help and service to her. And so I've been here. Yeah.
That's
shortly,
good.
Unfortunately, after she passed away, I'd became a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Tallahassee Alumni Chapter. And so, also, just want to make sure I commit to, giving back to my community and serving in my chapter. So, so I've been here.
And then when you think about just your life and where you are right now, what are the 3 things that you value the most, and how have they contributed to your work?
I would say resilience. I've always been resilient. I've always been solution-minded. And I would always say optimistic, so I think that when you wrap that up, keep God first in all that you do. focus on the things that you can't control, a lot of the things that you can't. So just, kind of disregard it. Always put forth your best put forth your best foot forward, and everything else will play out. But you always do your best, and God will take care of the rest.
Anyone you want to thank, give recognition to?
Yeah, my parents. They're great parents. I laugh because they're both absolutely hilarious, but they're so supportive and they're loving, and I honestly couldn't ask for better parents. My brother as well, so I would definitely say my family.
Yes, well, thank you, Mom and Dad, for sending Brittany Christie to the sheriff's office. So to our guests outside of work, we know that summer is in full swing, and so we have to ask the community relations manager, what does summer look like at the Leon County Sheriff's Office?
Ooh, well, currently right now, of course, we have our summer operation tour, our summer connect tour, excuse me. And so, we're doing a few pop-ups and surprises at some local communities here. So, of course, that is involving our snow cones, cool conversations. We also have our Sheriff Walk the Safety Star series. And of course, that can be seen on our YouTube channel, and of course, on our website. And we're doing some really cool things here. So I'm really excited about the summer.
That's awesome. And that is snow cones with the sheriff, Operation Cool Down.
Yep, Operation Cool Down.
Nice water splash days.
Water splash days, yep.
And Sheriff Walk the Safety Star, man. We are all over the place.
We're everywhere. Yeah. It's definitely a tour. So be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout,
Leon County. You never know where we're gonna pop up, but we're always gonna have a really good time and be excited to see you.
Exactly. So for those of you who may be listening for the first time, at the end of every LCSO podcast, we like to have our rapid fire segment. I don't tell people until they get in here.
Clearly. I had no clue.
They don't run around or they try to avoid it, right?
Right.
So this is how it's going to work. I'm just going to ask this or that type of questions, and you kind of shoot out the first thing that comes in mind.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. You ready?
I hope so.
Coffee or tea? See?
It depends on the time of day and what's going on.
Yeah, to just get one.
Let's do coffee.
Okay. Morning workout or evening workout?
Morning.
Favorite Tallahassee restaurant?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Let's go with Harry's.
Okay, Harry's.
Yeah.
Favorite sports team?
Let's go with Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, awesome. Outside activity events or inside events?
Outdoor.
Okay. What's one thing that you will always keep with you at a community event?
Giveaways and promotional items.
Okay. The beach or pool?
Ooh, beach.
Okay. And day shift or night shifts?
Day shift.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you've gotten through that a lot better than some of these other people.
You're so silly.
Okay. We're just going to go ahead and shift gears and thank everybody for listening to the conversation today. Was there anything that you wanted to mention? Anything that you just brought on your heart when you walked into the room?
Nope. I think we went over everything, and hope that everyone got to learn something about me, and that's it. Awesome.
Well, we do know one thing, that community engagement is much more than just planning events.
Absolutely.
And it is about the heart and the person. Thank you all so much for listening, and thank you, Brittany, for joining us.
No problem.
Working together to make Leon County safer. All day.